And now to provide more insight on the latest when it comes to our main topic today, that is the war in Ukraine, Kyiv's relations with its partners and the support it receives, we are joined by Jan Lipavský, Czech Foreign Minister in the years 2021-2025. Minister, thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me.
So we had a report on the Polish-Ukrainian spat regarding historic grievances. Distinctions are being returned, new, old divisions resurface. You have the ability to look at this dispute from the outsider's perspective. And what do you make of it?
So first of all, I understand that the history between Poland and Ukraine is very complicated and, let's say very diplomatically, full of events and also atrocities. And both sides should be able to look at those events as something which happened in past, and maybe something need to be done to mend it in a sense of historical debate. But it should not become a part of the current events and the current politics, because this is something which will play into hand only to your adversaries.
But still, it seems that the topic, the story, the history of both countries is important, especially for both leaders' domestic audience. What does this current situation tell us about Ukraine, its relations with partners 4 years into the war?
I would say that there is a bigger enemy than Poland and Ukraine toward each other. And I will use the parallel to Czech-Germany relationship, which is also full of complicated matters and rich in history, to say so. But after the fall of communism, we were able to achieve a declaration between Czechia and Germany on which is looking at history as a history. It gives to historian, and it paves a way for the future. So I would recommend that such recipes to be used rather than to dive into historical debate being part of the political scene, because as I try to explain, this only fuels divisions and distinctions, and we should be looking at the history as historians, and make some kind of agreement and then go on.
So in your opinion, who should let go first in this situation? Because both sides, it seems, they invested so heavily, they put so much at stake domestically that it seems very hard to back down for either of the parties.
Exactly, it's very difficult, and it needs statesmen to make such bold moves. Yes, that's true.
So this row happens as Kyiv seems to be gaining momentum on the battlefield and beyond it. As we saw in one of the reports, summer holidays in Crimea are unlikely to be pleasant this year. Has Volodymyr Zelensky finally got the cards now, the very same cards that Donald Trump once told him in the Oval Office that he was missing?
Definitely, he has a new cards and he's playing them well. We can see quite dramatic development in Crimea, but also in many other Russian cities, and it looks really spectacular on social media videos. But still, the war is going on, and I'm afraid that there might be possibility that Russia might react accordingly to the situation. So it might be just a certain time window when the Ukraine is able to have this upper hand. So what I would argue is that the support of the European countries should not stop. Otherwise, we need to continue to support Ukraine, so we make sure that Ukraine competitive advantage will continue.
So given this upper hand of Ukraine that you mentioned, there are now again growing calls for peace talks. What do you think, what conditions would have to be met in order for them to happen? And do you think Ukraine will actually force Russia this time round to seriously sit at the negotiating table?
So even we are observing the fact that the Ukraine is able to strip Crimea of fuels and change ratio forces in front line, and strategically bombard targets deeply inside Russia. The Russians are still not serious about negotiations. So from that seeing, I would say that there's still space to push on Russia. And in my personal opinion, and I was pushing this as a foreign minister, the territorial sovereignty of Ukraine should be non-negotiable. However, possibility to freeze the conflict on the current line is one of the things which is laying on the table. The other conditions should definitely include the Ukraine's ability to fully arm itself, because from the previous negotiations, even though it were not the proper negotiations, we know that the Russians were demanding that Russia will not be able to protect itself.
So if this happens, if the sides sit at the table eventually, who do you think should be present at this table, or who do you think will be present at this table? Will Europe eventually have a say, especially given that the new E5 format, Germany, the UK, France, but also Italy and Poland is projected to be the new core of European security?
I think, honestly, we are spending too much time on discussion who from Europe should be sitting at the table. Look how Minsk #1 and Minsk #2 were crafted. Who were sitting at the table at that time? It was the French president and the German chancellor. So I would see that only logical path forward is sending such a figure representing, with the mandate from the EU or as big as possible number of European states. It should be such a figure.
Jan Lipavský, former Czech foreign minister, for World News Tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
And that is all we have prepared today in World News Tonight, but please stay with us for more updates.